In today's video, my goal is to survive 100 days as a medieval knight. 100 days ago, I was blackmailed and forced to leave my kingdom of Fullhorn. My goal for this video? To defeat the evil king and to get back what was stolen from me. If you want to be involved in my next video, make sure you join my Discord below. Now without further ado, let's get straight into the video. I had finally escaped from my enemies, and even made myself something that I actually called a home for a short while. But when I took myself outside, I was greeted by a wandering villager and his merry set of llamas, which I quickly disposed of. After getting some basic resources, and also some stone from the surrounding area, I used the stone to upgrade my tools. I also spent some time creating a failsafe room at the back of my hobbit hole. Filling it with some chests and some basic items, and it's something I wish I never had to use. But by the time I'd finished it, it was the next morning, and with that came the task of collecting a variety of food from the local wildlife. But it stopped pretty early. They found me. Oh no. I had to make a decision fast, and I know it had to be the right one. I spent time slowly sneaking through the trees, careful to avoid the guards in the area. Just head this way. They're near my home. You know, I'll just grab the food while I'm here. Be productive. There's more of them down there. I can see one in the bag. And before I knew it, I came across what looked like their camp. I think I'm gonna need to try and work my way in, because that looks like a lot of food. And then I'm gonna, oh hello, and then I'm gonna have to leave. I managed to take most of their resources without being caught, and I had to head home to pack up and say goodbye. There'll be more of them coming, so it'll be my best option, just to find somewhere new. I spent some time exploring, and I actually found myself in a completely new area. It was something that was brand new to me, which also brought brand new adventures. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. I don't want to get too close because I'm gonna die. Okay, they have a church. They're religious people. They're clearly not gonna kill me. Horse, church with gold means I can steal that. Okay, crossbows. So I think my idea is gonna be to build quite far back, just back here, just something small for now, just something I can fit myself in pretty much. There's nothing else around here. All right, I think this is gonna be the spot. I think this is it. Knowing there was a village nearby, I had to build a home to be safe. I spent a large amount of time clearing the area around me so I had enough room to live. The village was giving off a strange feeling. It was something I wasn't sure about, especially the fact that it was full of guards. But it was a risk that I definitely didn't want to take. Another thing on my mind was resources. And after finding myself a small cave, I went on a hunt for coal, iron, and cobblestone for the home that I had in mind to build. It was totally a fun experience, being attacked by mobs on my hunt for any kind of resource possible. And just like that, it was time to start work on my next home. Something I wanted to be fit for a knight. Then to put it simply, the building just started. I used a mixture of basic cobblestone and the spruce from around the area to make something small, but also what I'd like to call quaint. Whilst building, I got a message from a local guard, who told me that 70% of the people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. Which means if you press that little red button and turn that bell on, you'll definitely get an invitation to the next kingdom. It was a small home that I'd never really built before, but it fit everything that I needed, and well, I guess that was enough for me in this moment. With my new home finished, I created a small stone fence to give off bad vibes for any guards or enemies that wanted to come into my new home. With the new home came a new farm. Quite small but filled with potatoes, and I was starting to enjoy the process. But now all the tedious work was finished, I spent some time with the iron I collected creating myself new iron armor and also some new kinds of tools. I decided to make something called an iron battle axe. It looked terrifying and it was a different kind of weapon, but I felt ready to explore the village now. The village, it was surprisingly easy to get into. I kind of just walked in and felt no resistance at all. but I was being more careful than ever. using my new handy spyglass to scope out the area before I moved from home to home. And just like that, there was a guard in front of me. I acted the only way I knew how and got into a fight. He was down, and surprisingly, there was no resistance again. Had I just really made a huge mistake?
Hang on a minute. They're friendly. Oh god, I just killed their friend. Oh, hide the evidence, hide the evidence.
Luckily enough, I don't think anybody noticed. And with that, I was able to freely walk around the village, and felt accepted as one of their own. Forgetting that 10 seconds ago, I had literally removed one of them. I took a while to explore my new surroundings, taking it in and borrowing whatever I could to take home. On my way out, the locals actually gave me permission to borrow a horse, and he looked beautiful. They told me his name was Michael Jackson, and so we beat it back to my home. I guess you could say I'm a smooth criminal. I'm really sorry. And just like that, it was time for the next adventure. Knowing that my new home was protected by the people of the village, and that MJ was safe and sound, meant I was able to start to explore the rest of the kingdom around me. I came across a variety of things on my small adventure, including a fishing hut that surprisingly had no one home. But as night hit, I came across a ship the size of which I'd never seen before.
There's a big ship. I think I'm gonna try sneak on the ship. I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're gonna give it a go. If there's someone on here, it's nighttime, so maybe they're asleep. I'll leave the boat just here so I can run away. Okay, I've got my battle axe, I just need to be careful. Okay, the ship's empty. I'm the only one here. But where the hell is everybody else?
With the ship looted, and also actually being surprisingly empty, I moved on, and actually found myself a brand new town that I'd never seen before.
This looks like a big city. I really don't like this. There's another ship, but this one's way too close to the town. There's no way. Okay, it seems clear. Doesn't seem to be any guards.
I decided the best thing to do was to take it as slow as possible, and after walking through, it was also empty. The one thing that could make this creepier was a secret tunnel, and that's surprisingly exactly what I found. I slowly walked through. I was noticing a lot of information at once. I was really on edge and noticed a map with a variety of other towns, including Fullhorn, but maybe one of those could help me.
I can hear people above me. I can hear something. Okay, how do I get out of here again? We'll come back eventually, but it's too close and I think the sun's rising, so I need to get out of here.
I could hear the guards and I had to run. I'd adventured enough for now, and it was time to return home as quickly as possible. Something was different though on my return. I arrived home like I usually did, full of promise. I had a small scare earlier and a break sounded perfect right now. But as I said, something seemed different. I returned home to villagers being trapped outside of my house. And not just any villagers, it was the same friends I had made from the village next to my home. Fullhorn's guards had surrounded the place, and all I could do was free the villagers and try to take out who I could.
Don't worry, buddy. I'm gonna get you out of this.
It was a long fight and I was weak and I had to run. Not just away from the village, but away from my home and my new horse, and I really was just back to square one. At this point, trying something new seemed like a great idea. I wanted to create a home that wasn't easily noticed by the guards around the area, and something that took me back to my roots. That's where the idea for a secret base came up. I was torn between the idea of using redstone or just doing it underneath the log of a tree, kinda like my old videos. I went with just putting it under a tree for now. It was basic, and it was definitely something that could be upgraded with a secret redstone entrance over time. At the same time, I was thinking about my next move with Fullhorn. I wanted to get rid of the evil, but I couldn't do so alone. I was for now just stuck in a phase of building, and then rebuilding, and rebuilding again. But I decided it was best just to use some strip wood, cobblestone, mossy stone, and stone brick to create a genuine underground bunker feel for this base. I decided to deal with Fullhorn and the evil guards, I was really going to need an improvement of armor. So I made the decision to head into a nearby cave. I quickly found a load of resources, and oh boy did they come thick and fast. I very quickly found my first set of diamonds, but the mobs were proving to be a problem. As this is hardcore, one death and my adventure is over. I spent a very long time breaking my way through the mobs in the underground caves, and even luckily enough, I found myself a spawner filled with a wide variety of items, including some much needed golden apples. It was time for me to craft my new armor, and after a few near-death experiences, I felt confident enough to do so. With my armor crafted, it seemed like the best possible time to head over to the town across the ocean. If I wanted to defeat Fullhorn and get back to my kingdom, I was going to need all the help I could get. And maybe there was a way we could all work together. But in true JamieRaven fashion, I kind of ruined that. I decided once again to have a sneak around the area. And whilst I was in the local church, I found a trapdoor. I'd actually found what looked like a barracks, and I had all the food, resources, and the equipment that I needed. I mean, I spent some time borrowing basically everything in sight, but there was really just one question on my mind. Where was everyone? I decided to head back up with the resources I had. I didn't want to get greedy and upset the locals of the town, but it turns out I'd already done that. Where was I? I'd woken up after being attacked with no armor, weapons, or any resources, and also being locked inside a jail cell. Before I knew it, I had a visitor from someone who looked very much like the king of the land, and his name was Tubbsy. We spoke for a little while, and I told him everything that had happened to me, and also apologized 100 times over for what I did to his town. But to my surprise, the king actually let me go. He broke me out the cell, told me to collect my things and follow him for a tour of the town. And that's exactly what we did. And knowing I was able to walk the city freely, I went off on my own adventure, deciding to explore on my own for a while. After a little adventure, speaking to the king seemed like my next task. I headed back because maybe together we could think of a way to get me back to my fallen kingdom. It really seemed like the only positive thing I could do. But when I returned to the king's chamber, I didn't find the king. Only an open trapdoor. I snuck inside, but inside was my horse, and also a sign with the location of my home, my secret bunker. The king and his men have to be working with Fullhorn. It's the only thing I can think about, but the positive out of this is that they didn't know that I knew. I had to leave my horse behind for now, but very soon I was going to come back. In a weird way, this really just seemed like a positive. I know it's difficult to understand, but I returned home after a short trip back to my secret Minecraft base, and got started not only on a new farm, but also a stable. Like I said previously, you know, I had a plan to save my stolen friend, but it would definitely take time to do. With the king unaware that I knew what was actually going on, it seemed like the perfect time to build something now that I was actually friends with the town. I decided to create a small potato farm with the potatoes that I had collected from the local barracks. And also at the same time, I also improved the entrance to my secret base. I decided to place water on top to create a small pocket to be able to climb in and out of. Once the farm was done, it was straight into a wooden stable for my dearest companion. I felt like it fit the area quite well. You know I wouldn't be here permanently, but anything was better than my friend being locked in a cage. However, with the magical power of editing, the 2 tasks at hand were actually finished in record time. However, the items that I had in my possession now wouldn't help me overthrow not just 1, but 2 kings. To be honest, I think I really needed full diamond armor. So it was straight back into the trusty cave that I'd been in earlier to take whatever resources I could. Which eventually included enough diamonds for leggings, but also enough for an enchant table. It actually took a really short amount of time, and the longest part was actually collecting all the obsidian required for my enchanting table. But with time, and also the power of editing, I collected that also. Fighting through the mobs and trying not to die was a tough task, especially for someone who has no hand-eye coordination at all. But I was determined to get back to my friend and also my kingdom. With everything collected that I needed, I headed home, creating my new diamond leggings and also my enchanting table. For now, I had to use it for basic enchants, but eventually I would be unstoppable. It was really just time to get my friend back. I felt like I was ready. And armed with 1 singular piece of TNT, and probably a huge death wish, I started to sneak my way into the nearby town. It was pitch black, and the phantoms, they weren't helping either, as I had to remove those before I could move forward. Eventually, I had kind of lined myself up with where I needed to be. I knew what the back of the king's throne room looked like, and I lined myself up just behind it. I placed the TNT, and it was time to break out, my friend. I returned home, but didn't actually find what I was looking for. Soon enough, my questions about the empty town were soon answered. The guards were here, and they had come in full force. Unlike last time though, I wasn't giving up my home, and this wouldn't end like last time. And just like that, the fight was on. My new armor proved really handy, and actually saved me a few times. And with great difficulty, the guards were finally down. My home and my loyal companion were once again protected, and with my enemies now being weaker, it was time to end this and head to Fullhorn to try to get back my kingdom. Nighttime. The perfect time to overthrow a corrupt king, if you ask me. I had prepared the entire time for this, and the opportunity was right in front of me. It was time to clear out a city. The guards hit hard, but it was my job. Really, it was my duty to take back what was taken from me. So I pushed forward, and with every swing, I got closer to the king. I was really about to see a familiar face. I had worked my way throughout the entire town to the guard room and to the throne room. My new armor and weapons had proven to be superior to everything in my path. But it turns out, Tubbsy was behind everything. The secret King of Fourhorn. Or should I say, the ex-King of Fourhorn.